Hi, everybody. My name is Olivia LaRose, and I'm presenting to you Journalism in a Social and Attention-Deprived World, analyzing short-form video content, its impacts, and uses in today's journalism industry. So, a little bit of an overview and research. So, how are short-form videos influencing social media users and online news consumption? And how is the journalism industry affected by the impact of short-form videos, and how do journalists navigate challenges brought on by it? These are the two research questions that I'm focusing on. So, what exactly is a short form video? Well, I'm sure most of us know what short form videos are. We've been studying them all semester, but for the sake of this presentation, short form videos are usually under 60 seconds long and sometimes up to 3 minutes. It is very easy to scroll through these videos, it's easy to consume them, and it's really easy to create them. So, social media simulation is something that I have studied a lot and is included in my paper. So, for a little bit of context, pre-TikTok, we had Vine and Musical.ly. Uh, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, buys Musical.ly. They create TikTok. And it was during the COVID-19 pandemic that TikTok really pushed these short form videos into global virality. They had a very simple user interface. All you had to do was double tap to like. On the side of your screens, you had buttons for commenting and sharing, and all you needed to do to watch the next video was to swipe up. TikTok had virtually no competition in 2020, but now there's a bunch of competition. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, and RedNote in China, along with massive amounts of other short form videos that are all trying to compete against TikTok. And the problem with that is people are cross posting the same videos on every different platform. So if you like someone, you're going to be recommended their content in one app, and then you're going to naturally gravitate towards their content again in another app. And that basically means that no matter what app you're using, you're getting the same content no matter what. A little bit more is that the COVID-19 pandemic was a very unique opportunity because social media short video sharing became the primary route for social connection, political information, and public health information. If you remember the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020 and mask mandate updates and vaccine trial updates, you saw a lot of this on TikTok or on Instagram Reels. A lot of the information shared about this was on social media through videos. Social media addiction is a major problem in my paper because continuous scrolling can contribute to addiction. So each short form video you watch is a little bit of dopamine in your brain, and your brain says, "Oh, I really like this video, so I'm going to watch another one. Oh, I like this one too." And so you can see how that becomes a cycle. So people who already have predispositions to addiction, such as genetic or behavioral factors, are much more likely to become addicted. And there was a study done for both neurological and psychological testing that showed that people with social media addictions were having symptoms similar to alcohol, nicotine, and drug addictions. So how do we combat this in journalism? Well, the problem is the personalized algorithm creates social media news deserts. And basically what a social media news desert is it's a news desert in your phone. If you are liking cat videos and if you're liking Sabrina Carpenter music videos, then you're less likely to be recommended news content. And sometimes if you are recommended news content, you may not engage with it. And this is included in your personal network. If everyone you're following likes to post and repost and like and comment on cat videos, because of association, you're less likely to be seeing news content and more likely to be seeing cat videos. So how do journalists combat this? Well, we need to be using non-news related hashtags and music or sounds associated. So basically following the trend and trying to get our news content squeezing into these trends. And then we also need to be hooking viewers for that dopamine boost so that they stay and they watch the video. Many of us are social media addicts as well. I included a study in my paper about how journalist students were trying to combat social media addiction, and during the study, they kept falling back and scrolling on their own phones. So short attention spans is also a massive problem. Most short form videos are actually even under 30 seconds. Usually they're under a minute, but TikTok is usually between, I think, 12 and 30 seconds. And so there's many studies done on the harm of short form videos, but in one study that I included for students using Facebook versus not Facebook, we saw that the students who regularly used Facebook had issues with memory retention, impulse control, maintaining attention in their classes, productivity on their actual assignments, how quickly they're getting it done, and their actual performance. What's the grade? And so potential causes could be information overload and the competition for attention. So information overload, when you're on the explore page of Instagram, there's a bunch of posts and you can click on whatever, and from there you can scroll up. So many videos, they're all competing for your attention, and you have to decide which one you're paying attention to. Furthermore, consuming news on social media is dangerous because with your personalized algorithm, it's going to recommend you things you like, which creates echo chambers for politics and events. You also have the issue of the news finds me mentality that when you're seeing cat videos and you occasionally get like a major news video, you're going to think that's important enough to find me, even though I don't engage with the news. And that's become problematic because then you're not getting consistent news everywhere. That information overload also contributes to accepting videos as face value, meaning you're more susceptible to mis and disinformation because your brain is so exhausted from trying to focus on one thing at a time. Less information are in shorter videos, which is a big issue because you're not getting all of the facts. And there's been multiple studies done about how news influencers are preferred over journalists because news influencers are more emotional and you can connect with them more than a journalist who is actually reporting. So, fortunately, we also need to figure out how to work around this. And so, this includes we need to hook our viewers with sensational first words, wow, this is crazy news, or you can't believe what Donald Trump is doing this time. And so, we need to also add emotional intensity because that is why um, social media influencers are preferred because they are more intense with how they deliver messaging. And unlike journalists, they're allowed to say, this is really bad, guys, or this is fantastic news. We don't insert our opinion, and they do. We need to fit everything in under a minute. It's super, super tight timing, and we need to figure out what the most important information is. And we need to curate our engagement with the hashtags and the sounds. And sometimes that means non-journalistic content, such as engaging in TikTok dances for more views. So, a little bit of discussion. So, journalists need to adapt their storytelling to include all forms of social media because if everyone is using short form videos, then we need to be everywhere using the same thing. You know what I mean? This does include posting trendy content, just like I was talking about. We become our own brand online, so it's incredibly important to me that journalism programs are teaching students both marketing and PR skills so that we know how to act on social media and that when controversies and issues happen, we know how to navigate them. So some opportunities for future research are how short-form video journalism can potentially affect addiction, how social media in journalism may contribute to trusting content at face value, and how we can shift away from that same instant gratification dopamine addiction cycle that social media platforms utilize to reverse addiction and shorten attention spans. As journalists, we are all big readers and academics, and we want people to know the information. And that concludes my project and my presentation. Thank you so much.